What's up mga kamuros? Welcome to another episode of Life of an Artist. For today, we're going to discuss the materials, things, tools that you need as a freelance mural artist. Okay, so first thing is that when a client asks you to paint their space, their room, restaurant, businesses, condo, school, or anything, any areas that they want to be painted, if you can visit the area, it is better so that you will know the things, the tools, the materials you have to bring when you go to the site and start painting. If you don't have time to visit and it's very costly to go to the site itself, these are the things that I usually bring when I'm doing an outside painting gig. So first thing, of course, these are the intangible things that you have to have. First is your passion, also your sample works, your dedication, clients, and down payment. So those are the intangible. Well, the down payment, you can actually touch it. It's actually tangible. But before you start, you have to make sure that you have those. Okay? Then, here are the materials you need. First is brushes. Different sizes of brushes. Depending on the project that you have to make sure that you have with you different size of brushes for different types of projects. So maybe you have maybe you need small brushes for outlines. You need big brushes because the design of the mural that you will be painting is a bit big. So you also need the big brushes. Sometimes you also need rollers because there are some instances where the surface that you will paint has not been primed or has not been pre-painted. So before you start painting, you have to make sure that the area is better if the area is colored or painted white. But if not, you will ask your client for an extra charge for you to paint the primer of the wall. Okay? And make sure you also have enough number of brushes so that you won't have to go out and look for establishments where you can buy paint brushes. You can continue and you will not get disturbed while painting. It's better that you have a lot of brushes so you won't have to wash it from time to time. You just get to your container and then you just get to where you put your brushes and get the brushes you need. You don't have to wash it from time to time for you to use it. Next one is paint. So paint is very important. How can you paint an area where you don't have paint? So since you already talked to the client, the paint that you will bring depends on the surface that you will paint. So if the surface, well, I usually use latex paint for walls. Even if it's wood, I make sure that the area that I will be painting is pre-painted or it has already been primed. But for some instances that I will have to paint glasses, metals, and woods that really needs to be painted by enamel, enamel type of paint, so I will bring enamel paint. And make sure if you are painting or if you are using enamel paint for wood and metals or glasses or mirrors, you also have to bring paint thinner so that you can soak your brushes so that it will not dry and get hard. So you might also need spray paint. Okay? Next one is container for the paint. So I usually buy bulks of paints. So the containers I used before are like the resealable containers that I bought. I usually bring containers, resealable containers that I bought in Daiso or Japan home centers, the one where you put food or any plastic containers, or where you can actually bring little amount of paints that you will need. But depending on the project that you will paint, sometimes, most of the time, I also use ketchup bottles. So it will be easier for me to pour paint on the palette that I'm using. Pour and mix paint. This one is gloves. So gloves is very important, so you won't have to wash your hands from time to time. That's actually when you're going to eat your snacks or go out to use the bathroom or whatsoever, you won't have to wash your hands after handling the paint. It is much faster if you are wearing gloves. One thing very important that you have to bring is mask. So even before, mask is very important because sometimes the area where we are painting is very dusty because construction workers are actually still working on like cutting metals, mixing concrete, and you also would not like to always inhale the fumes of the paint, especially the spray paint. Apron. Next one is apron. So apron, we use apron for us to protect our clothes. But if you have extra working clothes that is already dirty, like before I used to have it, I still have it actually. The clothes that is okay for me to be painted on to get dirty. But if you are not like that, you must bring an apron. Next one, extra shirt, 2 or more. So I usually bring extra shirt, extra working clothes, so that because I'm a very sweaty person, so I make sure I bring shirt, extra shirt. But if you are going to stay in that place, maybe overnight, if it's a house or a condominium that is very far from your place and you cannot not go home, because it's much practical if you will stay there and not spend money on the transport fares and all that stuff. Make sure you bring 2 or more working clothes and pants or jogging pants. Make sure you have jogging pants, especially if you are working on malls. On places wherein it's inside the mall or condominiums where there are strict guidelines with their workers, so they will not allow you to work They will not allow you to continue your work if you are wearing shorts. So make sure you bring jogging pants or pants. Make sure you also bring towel. So like me, if I'm very sweaty, if you're working on a very hot area, make sure you have a towel with you. Whoa, okay. You can also bring extra shoes, or if you don't have a car like me, I just started bringing, you know, the rubber shoe cover, the one you use when it's raining, the one you cover your shoes when it's raining, so that the water will not go into your shoes and ruin your shoes. So I used to bring that to cover my shoes and make sure that it will not be painted on. So next one is meter. You know, the meter or meter stick. So it is very important because sometimes you don't have the measurement of the wall, so you must always bring it. If not, you can borrow from the construction workers if they're working the same time with you. But if not, you must bring your own meter for you to also look for the center of the wall that you're painting, if it's balanced like that. Chalk. Next one is chalk. So I use chalk for outlining my artwork. Yeah, it's easy to wipe, it's easy to erase. You just have to make sure that you have a rug or rugs. So I just wipe the rugs and then wipe the chalk marks that you use for art. So yeah, you have to also bring rugs for wiping the surfaces, or if you accidentally pour paint on the floor or the areas where you don't want to be painted. Masking tape of different sizes. So you have to bring masking tape. On the next videos, I will show you the brands that I use for the brushes, for everything that I am using for my commissioned murals. So masking tape. You use it to make sure that you will not paint the corners of the areas where you don't want to be painted. So I use masking tape for that. And you have to make sure that the masking tape you are using are not they're sticky enough for the walls to be protected, but not sticky enough for the existing paint to be peeled off when you are done painting and peeling the paint. So with that, you also need newspaper or old curtains that you will put on the floor for the floor to be protected with the paint splatters. So it's very hard to clean surfaces or scrape off paint. It will save you time if you will just cover the floor with newspaper or old curtains. So I guess it's better if you have old curtains. So depending if you have car or motorcycle, it's very easy to bring those stuff. But make sure you have newspaper. Next one is palettes. So I use palettes. I use icebox trays. So because it is easier for me to mix paint in that. Sometimes I also use the normal paint palettes that you see. But also depending on the projects that you will paint, you might need bigger containers for you to store paint. But since most of my projects require a lot of mixed paints, colors, I use ice trays. Next one is printed copy of the design that you will paint. So it will save you time and protect your phone if you have a printed copy of the design that you will paint. So you will just stick it on the wall beside the wall that you will be painting, and you will just look at it every time you need the reference for the image of the design. But some artists use projector. See, I don't use projector. I don't yet have the money to buy projector, but I guess it would be cool if you will also have projector. Some artists also use carbon paper. They just trace their designs onto the wall. Okay? And then, bucket for soaking your brushes. So make sure that you have this so that your brushes will last long. You won't have to buy from time to time. After using the brush, you just have to soak it, and then later on, after you're done painting, you can wash the brushes thoroughly. Next one is bag. So make sure the bag that you're using is okay to be painted, because you cannot control the paint splashes or drippings on it will actually get dirty for sure, even if you're very careful. Bags for the paint. And one extra, or your personal bag where you put your belongings, like your extra shirt, your chargers, your anything, your wallets. You also need an extra small bag. So this extra small bag contains your private possessions, like your wallets, cell phones, Bluetooth headsets, speakers, IDs, where you can use when you're going out, like to pee or to buy food, like that. Next one is ID. Make sure you have your ID when working, when you're going to paint inside the village, malls, condominiums, because they will be very strict, since they will not let you in and they will not let you start your work if you don't have an ID, for the security reasons of the other tenants or other residents inside the village. And next one is permit, your working permit. You will not, some establishments will not let you work if you don't have work permit, especially inside the malls, condominiums, or villages. Next one is lights. So if you are working inside a place where it is not yet operational, so most of the time you have to bring lights, land light, spotlight, or extra light bulbs and pluggable light. I don't know what it's called. So yeah, I usually bring it because my eyes is not that good. So I cannot work. I get dizzy when it's dark. I cannot work properly if the place I'm working at is dark. So I make sure that I bring lights. But that's the importance of checking the site first, or you can ask your clients if there are available lights. But just to make sure, you have to bring your own lights for you to work properly. Next one is ladder. So if you have cars, you can bring your personal ladder. But most of the time, if you're working together with the construction workers, you can borrow their ladder, or you can ask your clients if they have ladder. So you won't have to bring yours. But since I don't have a car, I usually just borrow ladder from the homeowners or the construction workers. Trust me, they're very helpful. Extension cords. So sometimes the outlet is very far from you, so you have to bring extension cords. And since I am using a lot of gadgets while painting, a lot of electrical stuff while painting, like light, and the next one, light, chargers, charging my phone, and charging the next item, Bluetooth speaker. So make sure you have extension cord. Sometimes you can't always borrow from the construction workers. You have to bring your own. Yep. Next one is Bluetooth speaker or Bluetooth headset, because I cannot work without music. So I have to get myself hyped up all the time. So if I can use the Bluetooth speakers, it's better so that you can also hear your environment. Like if there's an emergency, it's better if you can hear your music and you hear your environment at the same time. But if someone or if a construction worker that's working on your side is already playing music, you can use your Bluetooth headset. Those are not very important, but it will help. You have to make sure that you also have food, especially in places or areas where you cannot go out or there are no available stores where you can buy food, water, snacks, coffee, or energy drinks. So you can ask your client if there are available stores where you can buy food or snacks. But there are also very generous clients where they will not let you get hungry and thirsty or sleepy. So shout out to all the clients who are very generous, but it is actually not a requirement. It is not required for you to feed your workers, but it will be highly appreciated if you will give them snacks. Next one is extra phone. Why is it getting dark? Okay. Extra phone. So I use extra phone for my music or camera, for the time-lapse video that I usually post on my page. So make sure you have extra phone. Extra is good because what if your phone died, or what if you lost your phone? So you need to have extra phone. You also have to bring your chargers and power banks. Those are very important things you have to bring. Next one is level bar or laser level, ruler or meter stick. This one is for you to ensure that your painting, there are actually paintings that require the use of these things, because you have to make sure that you are painting straight lines, that what you're painting is on a level to the ground or the ceiling. The one of my clients who bought me laser light level, I'm still using it until now. Next one is blow dryer. So blow dryer, this one is very essential because it will save you time from drying your paint. But you can actually not. It is not required to bring blow dryer, especially to those projects where there are a lot of colors that you're painting. So you can actually save time from painting a lot, from jumping into different colors you're painting, so that while the other color is drying, so you have to jump to the other colors to paint and then wait them to dry. So that's actually multitasking. So you won't have to wait for the paint to dry. You can just jump onto the different colors of your mural. Next one is white. So this is actually not a requirement, but you never know when you will need it. You can use it to wipe your face or your body, and also wipe your ears when you have to do it, right? You never know if there's no water in the comfort room. And you can also bring a very small electric fan. So since it's very hard to work when you're all sweaty, dripping with sweat, so sometimes you have to bring it, especially to those places where it's not yet fully operational. There are no aircon, there are no electric fan, so make sure you also bring it. So yeah, that's it. If ever have forgotten some of the things that you can bring for your mural project, you can actually comment down below. But these are the things I usually bring when I have an outside painting gigs. So yeah, these are not like the standard. These are not the standard things that artists bring. These are just the usual things I bring when I have outside painting gigs. I hope that this video helped you. And make sure to comment down below, subscribe, like, share this video to your friends. Thank you guys. God bless, stay safe, and goodbye.